Hello and welcome back to True Treats. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Darren.
And this is Monday Night Meals.
The football edition, week 2.
In case you're just joining us, every week we create meals to represent the teams in the city they're from on Monday Night Football and share the recipes with you. Our motto as True Treats is health food in disguise, and that's what we try to do. Take the recipe and make it healthy as well.
For week 2, we have the St. Louis Rams taking on the New York Giants, so we made a New York style pizza and some fried ravioli. Let's check out that video and enjoy. First up, we had the New York Giants with a New York style pizza. The night before we made our pizza, we pre-made the sauce and the dough we were going to use, so both of them would be ready. In our sauce, we chopped up some garlic, and we chopped up some fresh tomatoes from both our garden and our neighbors. Then we put in some fresh herbs, including thyme, rosemary, oregano, and some fresh basil, also picked right out of the garden. When you're chopping the basil, you want to make sure to lightly roll it and rock your knife back and forth. That way you cut cleanly through the leaves and do not bruise them. After our basil, we also added in some white onion and then tossed all those ingredients right into a pot, a little bit of water, and of course we needed to add some salt. Then we put our lid on, turn the temperature down low, and just let it stew overnight. Now that we are letting the sauce stew, it's time to make our dough. So we took some warm water, about 110 degrees, added 1 package of yeast that we bought from the store, and this will begin the activation. When you see it activating, you'll see it start to froth and foam. That means the yeast is almost ready. Next, we start adding in our flour and begin to mix the dough. Notice as we're scraping the sides of the bowl to be sure to get all the flour off of the edges. We then knead the dough, which essentially means scooping from the bottom, bringing it around to the top and pushing through. Kneading that dough over and over again with flour till it's all consumed. Then we took it out of the bowl, put it onto a cutting board, and then continued the kneading process. You'll notice as we go through this, the dough gets thicker and thicker with each knead until eventually it starts getting that elasticity that pizza dough has. We then take our ball of dough and we throw it into a bowl that has just a little bit of olive oil in it, roll it around so it's nicely covered, throw a towel on top, and let it rise. After it rises, you punch the dough to pop the air, separate it into your 2 sizes for the 2 pizzas that we decided to make, and then we wrap them with saran wrap and chill them overnight. It's pizza night, so we took that tomato and vegetable mixture and we put it into a food processor to puree it to make our tomato sauce. After we did that, we used that same food processor to grate the cheese for both of the pizzas that we were making. We had some mozzarella in there, we had some Colby Jack cheese, and we also did a little bit of feta on the veggie pizza that we used. We took our grated cheeses and threw them in the freezer so when we baked our pizza the cheese would melt and not burn. Then we chopped up the vegetables for our veggie style New York pizza. We did some green peppers, a little bit of fresh broccoli. We then de-stemmed some cremini mushrooms, chopped those up so we could put them on top as well. We take a little bit of cornmeal and spread it onto our pan so our pizza dough won't stick when we go to bake it. Now it's time to stretch out that pizza dough. I first learned these techniques back when I worked for Papa John's when I was in high school. They only lasted about 9 months in Ashland where they have at least 7 or 10 pizza places. But at the height we were making about 65 pizzas an hour, which is more than 1 a minute. So these techniques sure came in handy. I wanted to quickly go over a few of the techniques that you saw there when I was rolling up. You saw me doing a back and forth motion right here. And essentially that's stretching out your pizza dough. Pizza dough is naturally elastic, so you want to stretch it out and utilize that. So the way that we practiced that when I worked in a restaurant, simple dish towel. Take the dish towel, just get it a little bit wet here. And it won't have as much of the elasticity, but it'll give you the same motion that you can practice stretching it back and forth over your hand and up your forearm there. A lot of people see them go up and do woo, big tosses and all kinds of fun stuff like that. That's mostly done for flair. It can help you stretch your pizza, but really the stretching comes from the back and forth and dragging it up that arm to stretch it out. Now that the pizza dough is stretched out and laid in our pans, we can apply that sauce that we made earlier. Taking the ladle, we just spread it from the middle to the edge so that way we leave a nice barrier for our crust. Then for the first pizza, classic pepperoni as we lay it down in a circle pattern, and we add our mozzarella cheese and our Colby Jack cheese. Alongside the classic pepperoni, we also did a veggie New York style pizza, a slightly healthier version of the same classic. We still added our mozzarella cheese, our Colby Jack cheese, and for this veggie pizza, a little feta cheese also. We took our 2 pizzas and put them in our oven, which was at about 450 degrees for 6 to 8 minutes so we get a crispy crust with a chewy center. Now we have the St. Louis Rams with some fried ravioli. First we had to make our filling, so we chopped some garlic as you just saw, and then we chunked up some cream cheese, added a little bit of Parmesan cheese, put that all in our blender with a little bit of mozzarella and some breadcrumbs for thickness, and then we just puree until smooth. Since we're making 2 kinds of ravioli, we separated our pate into 2 different bowls. We got our smoked salmon in one and our smoked tuna in the other, both from the Great American Smokehouse outside Brookings, Oregon. We then folded that smoked fish right into our pate so it'd be ready for filling. In my experience, the easiest way to make a mass amount of ravioli is to just do an assembly line style. It was created for a reason, and that was mass production. We lay down all of our squares, use a little water around the edges, which becomes glue. We take our filling, do about a tablespoon size right in the middle there, lay another one on top, press to get all of that air out so you don't have any bubbles when you fry, and then we just use a simple plastic fork to create nice little seams around the edge. Popped them in the fridge so they'd stay cool. Now we're making a pesto sauce to dip with it. Pesto is real quick and easy. We just chopped up some garlic, threw it in with a little Parmesan, fresh basil, some walnuts, and a little olive oil, and then you just puree until smooth, maybe needing to add a little extra olive oil to get the thickness. Now it's time to fry those ravioli, so we take them out of the fridge, throw them right into our hot pan, and get them browning. When you're frying at home, make sure that you adjust the temperature of your oil downward slightly because the oil will consistently heat up as you continue to fry. This didn't take us very long. We had about 15 total and did them in probably under 3 minutes. Very quick process. Now we got our fried ravioli with our sauce, our veggie pizza, a little pesto bread, which you can read about at the link below, and of course, our classic pepperoni New York style pizza. Make sure you cut those into nice big slices so when you pick it up to eat it, it folds, because that's how they do it in New York. Go ahead.
And that was our video. Thanks for watching it, and I hope you guys enjoyed week 2. We appreciate you guys coming back, and hope you keep coming back for week 3. Once again, if you have any suggestions for recipes from the cities you guys are from, please let us know, and the next time your city plays, we could be making your recipes.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up or favorite that video. Also, we'd love to know how we did and what you think, so give us a comment down below, hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. Also, check out the links that are down below to get even more information and recipes that we could not include into this video. Once again, we are True Treats. I'm Darren.
And I'm Shannon.
And keep on cooking.